The night was quiet in the small town of Woodhullo. The stars above twinkled softly, and the breeze moved gently through the trees. Leo had just stepped into his backyard with a warm cup of tea when he saw something strange streak across the sky. A bright blue light shot downward, fast and silent, and disappeared into the forest behind his house. It didn't explode. It didn't crash with noise. It just vanished. Leo stood frozen, cup shaking slightly in his hand. What was that? He whispered. Curiosity got the best of him. He grabbed a flashlight and walked toward the woods. It didn't take long to find the spot. Trees were bent outward in a perfect circle, and the ground was warm. In the middle of it stood a glowing shape, tall, thin, and trembling. It looked like a girl, but not quite human. Her skin shimmered faintly under the light, a soft silver tone. Her eyes were large, black, and full of fear. She didn't run. She didn't speak. She just stared at Leo like a cornered animal. Leo raised his hand slowly. Hey, it's okay. I won't hurt you. The girl blinked. She looked around, clearly confused, then back at him. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. She took a shaky step forward and collapsed. Leo rushed to her. She was cold, lighter than he expected, and wearing some kind of strange soft suit. He didn't understand what was happening, but he couldn't leave her there. He carried her carefully back to his house and laid her on the couch. For hours, she didn't wake up. Leo watched her, unsure what to do. He thought of calling someone, maybe the police or the government, but something told him not to. She didn't look dangerous. She looked scared. At sunrise, she opened her eyes. She sat up fast, looking around the room with panic. She pointed at the TV, which had turned on by itself, and let out a high-pitched sound, not quite a scream, but definitely fear. It's okay, Leo said quickly. It's just a TV. Look. He picked up the remote and turned it off. She stared at the black screen, breathing hard. Her eyes moved to the walls, the ceiling, the lamp, the microwave. It was like every single thing in his house confused her. Can you understand me? He asked gently. She nodded slowly, then shook her head, then paused. She said, voice soft and shaky, words hard. Leo smiled. That's okay. You'll learn. Do you have a name? She looked confused. Ari, she said at last. I am Ari. Nice to meet you, Ari, Leo said. I'm Leo. She nodded, still nervous. Her hands gripped the couch cushions like they might disappear. Slowly, she tried to stand, her legs shaking. Leo reached out to help her, but she flinched. Sorry, he said, pulling back. Ari looked around again. This where my house, Leo said. Earth, she blinked. Earth, she repeated, as if tasting the word. A few minutes later, Ari pointed toward the hallway. Need, place clean. You mean the bathroom? She nodded. Leo smiled and showed her the way. It's right here. Just be careful. There are buttons. She tilted her head. Buttons. He chuckled. Yeah, you'll see. She stepped in, looked around, and slowly closed the door. Leo waited. Then came the scream. It wasn't loud, but it was sharp, panicked, and followed by a thud. Leo rushed to the door. Ari, are you okay? The door swung open. Ari stood there, soaking wet from the waist down. Her hair stuck to her forehead. Her eyes were wide with shock. She pointed a shaking finger at the toilet behind her. That thing attacked me. Leo tried not to laugh, but a chuckle escaped. The toilet. It sprayed me. It screamed. It made noise. Leo smiled, raising his hands. Okay. It's not alive. It's a smart toilet. She narrowed her eyes. Smart? You mean it thinks? No, not like that. It just has sensors. When you sit, it cleans itself, plays sounds, and she backed away. It screamed. Leo scratched his head. Yeah, I guess the flush is kinda loud. Ari sat down on the floor, looking exhausted. Your planet is strange. Leo laughed softly. You haven't even seen the toaster yet. She looked at him with alarm. What's a toaster? He smiled. Let's save that for later. Ari pulled a blanket over her shoulders and looked out the window. I didn't mean to come here, she said quietly. I ran. Something bad. Leo sat beside her. It's okay. You're safe here. She didn't reply, but for the first time, she didn't look afraid. Outside, the trees swayed gently. Inside, the toilet flushed by itself again. Ari jumped. Leo sighed. Yeah, I really should fix that. And somewhere, far above Earth, something watched. Silent, waiting. Asterisk. The morning sun peeked through the curtains as Leo woke up to the soft hum of machines in his house. He turned over on the couch and saw Ari curled up on the floor nearby, wrapped in the same blanket. Her eyes were closed, but her fingers twitched slightly, as if she was dreaming or maybe remembering something. Leo stood quietly and went to the kitchen. He tried to keep things normal. Toast popped up from the toaster, and the kettle whistled gently. But when he placed a warm cup of tea on the table and turned around, Ari was already standing there, eyes wide, staring at the toaster like it might explode. "It burns things?" she asked. Leo blinked. "It makes bread warm." Ari nodded, slowly, but kept her distance. She leaned closer, carefully watching the red glow inside the toaster fade. Then she looked at the kettle. "And this, why does it scream?" "It's just boiling water," Leo said with a chuckle. "It makes that sound when it's ready." Ari sighed and sat down. "Everything here is loud. Everything moves, alone." Leo thought about that. It was true, things in his home were quiet to him, but to someone from another world, it must feel alive. "Where you're from?" Leo asked gently. "No machines?" Ari shook her head. "None like these. No sound. Number lights. Everything still. Simple." She reached out to touch the fridge, hesitated, then pulled her hand back. "This one breathes." Leo smiled. "It keeps food cold." Ari leaned closer to the side of the fridge, listening. The faint hum made her flinch again. "How do you sleep with all this noise?" "I guess I'm just used to it," Leo said. Ari didn't speak for a while. She stared at the microwave, the ceiling fan, the blinking clock. Then she turned toward Leo, eyes serious. "Something here, different," she said. "I feel it, inside." Leo raised an eyebrow. "Different? How?" She placed her hand on her chest, buzzing. "Like the machines, like I am part of them now." Leo frowned. "You didn't feel this before." "Not on my world," she said. "Only here." He leaned forward. "Do you think it's the electricity?" Ari didn't know the word, but she nodded slowly, as if trying to understand maybe. "But it follows me. It wakes when I move. Lights blink, doors open." Leo remembered something from the night before, how the TV had turned on by itself when she woke up. He'd assumed it was just a timer. Now, he wasn't sure. "Can you show me?" he asked. She looked nervous. "What if I break it?" "I can fix it." Ari stood and walked toward the lamp on the table. She didn't touch it, just stood near it. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, without a sound, the lamp blinked on. Leo's eyes widened. "You didn't touch it?" "No," Ari whispered. It listened. The lamp blinked again, off, then on. Leo's mind raced. Was this a coincidence, or something more? Ari sat back down. "This is why I ran. I didn't mean to bring it here." "What is it?" She shook her head. "I don't know. On my world, they said it was a sickness. Some thought it was a gift. I only know. Things change around me." Leo looked around. Nothing else in the room moved. But now, even he could feel it, a gentle buzz in the air, like static before a storm. "Are you scared?" he asked. Ari smiled weakly. "I was, but now, I think I'm just tired." Leo stood. "You need rest. And food." He made her some toast and scrambled eggs. She sniffed the food carefully, then took a small bite. Her face lit up. "Warm. Good." He laughed. "That's eggs." "Eggs," she repeated, smiling. The peaceful moment was broken by the sound of the front doorbell ringing. Ari jumped again, nearly dropping her plate. Leo looked toward the door, then back at her. "Stay here." He opened the door just a crack. It was the mailman, just leaving a package. Leo breathed out in relief and returned inside. Ari was standing beside the window now, staring at the sky. "What's wrong?" he asked. She didn't turn round. "Something is listening. Not from here, but close." Leo felt the hair on his arms rise. Ari looked at him slowly. "You're kind. I don't want them to find you." "Who's them?" he asked. She didn't answer. Instead, she walked over to his phone on the table. The screen flickered when she touched it. Lines of strange symbols flashed and vanished. Leo grabbed the phone. "How did you do that?" Ari shook her head. "I didn't mean to." Leo looked at the now frozen screen, his heart racing. Something wasn't right. Machines around Ari didn't just react, they responded. And now, he wasn't sure if the biggest problem was Earth's technology, or what was coming for her because of it. The night came quietly. The sky outside Leo's window was dark, painted with stars. But inside the house, things were far from calm. Ari stood in the middle of the living room, staring at her hands. A soft glow pulsed beneath her skin, blue, faint, and moving like waves under the surface. She looked scared, not because it hurt, but because she didn't know why it was happening. Leo had just finished placing a warm blanket over the couch. When he saw her, he stepped closer. Ari, she didn't look up. It's growing stronger. Leo glanced at her hands, then at the floor. Tiny specks of light shimmered around her feet like floating dust, glowing for a moment, then vanishing. Does it hurt? He asked gently. She shook her head. No pain, just buzzing, in my skin, in the air. Leo didn't know what to say. A few days ago, he was just a guy fixing computers in a quiet town. Now, there was a glowing girl from another planet standing in his house, talking about energy that made machines come alive. Ari looked at him. I don't know what's happening to me. Leo nodded. Maybe your body's reacting to Earth, our air, our technology. She thought for a moment. That could be true, but I felt it before. Even before I came here, on my ship. Leo sat down across from her. Tell me what happened. Before you landed. She sat slowly, her eyes fixed on the quiet microwave clock blinking 3:17 a.m. I wasn't supposed to leave, she said softly. We weren't allowed near the old machines on my world. They said they were too dangerous, but some of us, we were curious. Leo leaned in, listening. There were rumors, she continued, that the machines weren't just tools, that they remembered things, that they listened. Leo frowned. You mean, like they were alive? Not alive, Ari said, but aware. Some thought they were sleeping. I wanted to know more. She took a deep breath. I touched one. It was cold, silent, like a broken statue. But when I touched it, something woke up. I felt a sound, but inside my head, then light, and then I couldn't stay. Leo was silent. He could see the fear in her eyes, but also something else, guilt. I left without permission, took a small ship and escaped. I didn't know it would follow me here. What followed you? Leo asked. She looked up. I don't know its name, but it feels close now. I think it wants me back. Leo stood up and paced slowly. He looked at his phone, still frozen from earlier. Then he checked his smartwatch. It had stopped too. Even the TV remote wasn't working anymore. Did you do this? He asked quietly. I didn't mean to, Ari said. It happens when I'm scared, or when I think too much. Leo knelt beside her. It's okay, I just want to help. She nodded, but then something changed. The lights in the room dimmed slightly, just for a second. A low hum filled the air, like a faraway sound coming closer. Ari's eyes widened. Do you hear that? She whispered. Leo stood still. At first he thought it was just the fridge again, but this hum was different, steady, deep, and not from inside the house. Ari walked to the window and looked out into the night. There, she pointed. Leo followed her gaze. In the sky, just above the tree line, was a single blinking red light. It wasn't a star. It hovered, motionless. What is that? Leo asked. Ari's voice was low. It's not from Earth. Leo's heart beat faster. Is it a ship? No, a signal. They stood there together in silence, watching the blinking red light. Then, suddenly, it turned off. The house went quiet again. Ari sat down, her hands shaking slightly. It knows I'm here. Leo turned off the living room lights and sat beside her. Then we stay calm. We figure this out, together. She looked at him with a soft smile. You're not afraid, he shrugged a little. But I've already survived your toilet. I can handle this. She let out a small laugh. Your toilet is worse than that signal. For the first time since she arrived, the room felt light. Again, even with the strange energy still in the air. But deep down, both of them knew something was coming, and it wouldn't stay quiet for long. The morning sun painted the sky in soft orange and pink. But Leo was already awake. He sat at the kitchen table, eyes on his silent phone. Still frozen, still useless. All around the house, small things weren't working. The microwave didn't turn on. The lights flickered softly. Even the automatic coffee machine, which had never failed once, refused to start. It was like the machines were holding their breath. Ori stepped into the room, her silver hair slightly messy and eyes still full of sleep. But the moment she entered, the room seemed to change. The lights blinked once, then steadied. The kettle turned on by itself. A soft hum returned to the air. Leo noticed he gave her a smile, trying to hide the worry on his face. Good morning. Did you sleep okay? Ari nodded, but her gaze drifted toward the window. It's closer now. What is Leo asked. She pointed at the sky. The thing that watches. I felt it again, like a cold touch on my mind. Leo poured her some tea. We'll figure this out. Maybe you're not in danger. Maybe it's just curious. Ari didn't answer right away. She sipped the tea slowly. Then, after a moment of silence, she said, I want to go outside. Leo looked surprised. Are you sure? I need to know how much Earth has changed me. I need to see people, places, machines. I must feel it for myself. Leo hesitated, then nodded. Okay, but stay close to me, and no touching anything that glows. Ari gave him a soft smile. I'll try. They walked through the quiet streets of the town, trying to blend in. Ari had borrowed a hoodie and jeans from Leo's sister's old clothes, and although her skin still shimmered slightly in the sunlight, most people didn't seem to notice. Still, she walked like every step was a test. She stared at traffic lights like they were warning signs. When a dog barked behind a fence, she flinched. Leo led her to a small local cafe. This place is quiet, and they have great muffins. Inside, things were normal humans laughing, tapping on their phones, standing in line at the digital order screen. But when Ari stepped up to the self-service kiosk, the screen blinked rapidly, then froze. The person behind them groaned. Ugh, not again. These machines are so sensitive. Leo quickly guided her away. Let's just order at the counter. Ari nodded, clearly nervous. She clutched the edge of the table when they sat down. It happened again, she whispered. The machine stopped when I touched it. Leo leaned in. Maybe it's because you're not used to them. Or maybe you're giving off energy. Ari opened her hand and showed him. Tiny blue sparks danced across her palm for a brief second, like static. I didn't do anything. I didn't even try, she whispered. Leo reached across and gently placed his hand over hers. It's okay, just stay calm. Their quiet moment didn't last. A child at a nearby table pointed and whispered, Mummy, that lady made the screen freeze. Leo stiffened. A group of teenagers had also noticed. One of them pulled out a phone and began recording. Ari looked terrified. They're looking, recording. Let's go, Leo said quickly. They left the cafe, walking fast. Ari's hands trembled. I shouldn't have come, she said. I messed up again. No, you didn't, Leo said. You're learning. This is all new to you. But as they turned a corner, something strange happened. Ari paused and leaned against a wall. Her body glowed brighter than before, too bright to ignore. Then, suddenly, the streetlights above them turned off. The traffic light down the road blinked and froze red. People across the street stared at their dead phones in confusion. What's happening? Leo asked. Ari sank to her knees. I don't know. I feel full, like something is waking up inside me. Leo grabbed her arm gently. We have to get home. As they walked, the glow slowly faded, but the damage was done. News spread fast. Videos of the cafe incident were already online by the time they returned. One post read, Mysterious girl glitches, public machine alien, hacker. Leo shut the blinds in his house, trying to stay calm. Ari sat on the floor, arms wrapped around her knees. They'll come for me now. No one's coming, Leo said. It was just a small thing. But Ari shook her head. Not them. Not humans. The others. From my world. Leo felt a chill crawl down his back. You mean, more like you, not like me, she whispered. They don't run from machines. They control them. They send them. Leo turned on his laptop to look for the video online, but when he opened it, the screen flashed once, then glowed blue. Lines of alien symbols appeared, scrolling fast. He pulled his hand back. Ari stood behind him, watching. It's starting. The lights in the house dimmed. Once more, the air felt thicker now, and far away, in the sky, a strange signal pulsed again, silent to the human ear, but not to her. She turned to Leo and said, I'm not just changing, Leo, I'm being called. The night was quiet, but it didn't feel peaceful. A stillness had settled over Leo's house, not the kind that brought calm, but the kind that made every sound feel too loud. The ticking of the wall clock, the soft buzz of the ceiling fan, even the whisper of the wind outside felt sharper than usual. Leo sat at the dining table, staring at his frozen laptop screen. It still glowed faintly with those strange blue symbols, none of which he understood. He'd tried to restart it, but the moment his finger touched the power button, the screen had lit up on its own, showing more alien text. he hadn't touched it since. Ari stood by the window, completely still. Her glow had faded since earlier, but the air around her still shimmered faintly, like heat rising from a road. She hadn't spoken in a while. She just kept watching the sky, waiting for something she hadn't fully explained. Leo broke the silence. That message on my laptop. It wasn't random, was it? Ari turned slowly, her face calm but tired. No, it was sent. Leo stood. From who? She looked down. From home, from them. He stepped closer. You said they send machines. What do they want with you? Ari took a deep breath. To take me back, or to stop me. Leo frowned. But why? You haven't done anything wrong. I touched something I wasn't supposed to, she said softly. A machine buried deep in the mountains of my world. It was older than our people. They called it the Root. We were told to leave it alone, but I was curious. I thought maybe it was just a story, a warning to keep us afraid. And it wasn't. No, she whispered. When I touched it, it changed me. I started feeling things. Machines reacted to me. I didn't understand it, so I ran. I took a ship, alone, and came here. Leo sat down across from her. So now they're trying to bring you back. They don't want the change to spread, she said. They think I'll wake the old signals. They're afraid Earth will respond to me too. Leo looked at her glowing hands, remembering how the lights had shut down in town earlier. How even his fridge had hummed strangely when she walked past. But you're not trying to hurt anyone, he said. Ari met his eyes. I'm not sure I even have control anymore. Just then, Leo's phone buzzed. It hadn't worked in 2 days. Now the screen lit up, but not with a normal call or message. Instead, a strange notification appeared. Transmission detected. Trace incoming. Ari's face changed. They found the signal. They're coming. Leo stood up fast. Can we stop them? I don't know, she said. But I think there's something under this place. Leo blinked. What do you mean? I don't know how I know, she said. But ever since I got here, I've felt something below us. Not far. Buried. He grabbed a flashlight. Then we find it. They went outside, guided only by Ari's strange sense. Her hands glowed brighter with every step. She stopped near the old storage shed at the back of the yard. Here, she said. It's under this. They pulled away the rotted boards and found a metal hatch beneath the dirt. It didn't look human-made. The metal was smooth, round, and cold, even though the air was warm. Ari knelt beside it and placed her hand on it. The hatch responded instantly. A soft blue light ran across its surface, and it clicked open. A narrow tunnel led downward, lit by dim blue lights embedded in the walls. Leo followed Ari carefully, heart pounding. The deeper they went, the more he felt the same hum that surrounded her upstairs. Finally, they reached a small chamber. In the center was a device floating, silent and alive. It looked like a seed made of light, spinning slowly. Symbols moved across its surface, the same ones Leo had seen on his laptop. What is it? He asked. I think it's a listener, Ari said, like the one I touched before. But this one is Earth's, hidden, sleeping. Leo moved closer. Why is it here? She reached toward it. Maybe Earth has always had them. Maybe humans just can't see them. As her fingers touched the surface, the seed pulsed once. Then it spoke, not in sound, but in Leo's mind, a soft whisper. 2 signals. One must be chosen. Leo stepped back. What does that mean? Ari looked at him, her eyes glowing brighter now. It means Earth can't hold both connections, me or them. Leo stared at her. Then we stopped the other signal. Ari nodded slowly. I hope Earth agrees. They left the chamber, the hatch closing behind them on its own. Back inside the house, the lights flickered, then steadied. But something had changed. Leo looked out the window. The stars above were the same, but he knew something was now watching, waiting. A choice had been offered, and Earth would have to answer soon. Asterisk. Clouds rolled over the sky as the day faded into a heavy gray dusk. The wind had picked up, but it wasn't just the weather that made Leo uneasy. It was the stillness in the machines. His neighborhood looked normal on the outside, but something wasn't right. No one's phone was working. Streetlights flickered unevenly. The local power grid had slowed down. Yet no one could explain why. People were beginning to notice, but most just blamed a technical issue. Only Leo and Ari knew the real reason. The signal was spreading. Inside the house, Leo checked his watch again. Frozen. His laptop remained stuck on that glowing blue screen. Even his radio, which hadn't been used in years, buzzed with soft whispers in an unfamiliar language whenever Ari walked by. She stood near the back door, looking out at the sky. Her glow was stronger, now not bright, but steady, like a pulse that came from within. Her hair floated slightly, as if charged with something invisible. "They're close," she said softly. Leo joined her. "The others from your world." She nodded. "Their machines are near. I can feel them. They're trying to take control of Earth's systems, but something here is resisting." Leo looked around. "What do you mean?" Ari placed her hand on the wooden door. "Some of Earth's machines. They're listening to me now." Leo blinked. "Listening? You mean helping?" "Yes," she said. "They've chosen me." A soft tone echoed through the room. The house lights, which had been flickering before, suddenly grew stronger. The fridge hummed quietly again. Even Leo's frozen smartwatch came back to life, blinking rapidly, as if rebooting. The machines inside the house were waking up, and not by human command. "They're choosing between the signals," Ari said, watching as the kitchen clock reset on its own. "Mine or theirs." "But why would they choose you?" Leo asked. Ari turned to him. "Because I don't want to control them. I just want to live." Outside, a streetlight exploded with a loud pop. The others dimmed, then returned with a deep red glow. Leo stepped back. "That's not you, is it?" "No," Ari whispered. "That's them." A sound began to rise in the air, deep and pulsing, not loud but impossible to ignore. It wasn't coming from one place, it was everywhere. From phones, from radios, from the ground itself. A signal, calling, pulling. Ari fell to her knees, clutching her chest. Her glow flickered. Leo rushed to her side. "What's happening?" "They're trying to cancel my signal," she said through gritted breath, trying to drown it. "But the machines here, they're still listening." Suddenly, the lights in the house changed color from white to soft blue. The temperature shifted. The walls vibrated slightly, like the house itself had taken a breath. A soft voice came from Leo's smart speaker, but it wasn't robotic. It was calm, familiar. "Signal accepted, host confirmed." Ari looked up. "They've joined me." All around the neighborhood, strange things began to happen. Electric cars stopped responding to remote commands. Phones turned off, then on, showing unreadable symbols. Smart appliances across the street beeped and flickered. Leo stood slowly. "You're not just connecting, you're protecting." Ari nodded. "They gave me their trust, and now they're pushing back." Leo helped her to her feet. "Can we stop the other signal completely?" "Not yet," she said. "But they gave us a key." She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small disc, the same glowing pattern they had seen underground. It was now warm, alive. It pulsed in her hand like a heart. "There's a place not far from here," she said. "It's connected to the old system, maybe part of what was buried. If we reach it, we can send a counter-signal." Leo grabbed his jacket. "Then let's go." They stepped outside into the deep gray evening. The air was heavy with electricity. The roads were empty. A single delivery drone hovered overhead, then stopped in mid-air, turning toward Ari as if scanning her, and slowly moved away. "They're watching," Leo said. "They're choosing," Ari replied. They walked in silence for a while. The further they went, the more signs they saw: machines failing, others shifting. It wasn't war. It was something quieter, a decision being made behind wires and circuits. When they finally reached the edge of town, an old, unused communication tower stood in the distance, rusted, forgotten. But as Ari approached, its lights blinked blue for the first time in years. "This is it," she whispered. "Earth's first link to the stars. Before satellites, before signals." Leo stared in awe. "It still works." "It does now," she said, holding up the disc. The wind blew stronger. Clouds swirled above. "We have one chance," she said. "If the machines accept the counter-signal, Earth will block theirs and choose mine." Leo placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then let's help them decide." And together, they stepped into the tower, carrying the light of a choice Earth never knew it had to make.